My car broke down. I need some help. Hello? Hello? Let's just go back to the car.
It is story time here on Horror Fiend TV for another episode of What's Your Story? Yes, I'm sure you can see what we're going to talk about below.
I don't mean to scare you, but we haven't much time. It's not wise to keep them waiting. They'll be very interested in someone new,
It's a window on the other side. They come every night.
and they watch us.
What is that? What are they doing?
Applause. For you, mean it.
Well, we're going to introduce the fourth corner herself, Lexi, who I am curious to see what she thought about this film. So, Lexi, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a wild day. I'm definitely ready to talk about this one.
It's not an M. Night Shyamalan. It is a Ishana Night Shyamalan. As we are going to be talking about,
I'm gonna try to get in.
I saw myself.
Someone's out there.
Please open the door.
John? My husband's outside.
This is a trick.
Oh my god.
so Lexi, I know when we talked about doing this film, I kind of brought it up because it came out and it was one of these films I think would be interesting for our show to talk about because there is a twist in this film. There are certain malevolent creatures in this film. And once you find out exactly what they are, because I didn't watch the trailer for this one, but after watching the film, went back to watch the trailer, kind of like the fact that they didn't really hint exactly what it is. It's just you have the scenario that's put into place. But I have to ask you, after watching this film, I mean, what do you think about the reveal of what exactly these watchers are?
I liked it. Some films when they show the monster, it could be too quick or it could be too long. This one I felt was too long, but it was just right. Like, I don't know how to explain. I just felt like the way they revealed him, I was like, come on, show it. And there was times where I'm like, are you going to show it? No. Oh, no. But they showed it at a perfect time because it went along with the feel of the anxiety of being stuck in a room and trying to escape the woods and stuff like that. So I liked how, and you didn't know exactly what they looked like because I felt like there were some scenes that they looked differently. There was one scene where they were, I guess, under a bunch of rotted roots, and they revealed it a little bit, and I kind of thought Alien for a minute, and I was like, oh no. But then they kept showing other pockets of the monster where they were growing taller and shaping. And so I was like, oh, okay, I see where they're going with this. So at first I was almost disappointed, but then when they kept revealing little bit by little bit and tongue twister, try to say it. But when they kept changing, then I got where they were taking this, and it really worked for this film, so I liked it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't know where they were going with this one, especially because it's her first like directorial debut, and it was actually her first written film. So it was curious to see exactly where they go. And I mean, you could tell it's in her bloodline. I mean, it's in her gene, her DNA, the storytelling aspect. But yeah, I like the fact how, like you were saying, it was slowly revealed. They give you glimpses. What I liked about it too, though, is they gave you a story that you started developing as you started going on in the film. Like, and we'll talk about Madeline a little bit later. But I like the fact that she knew the history of these beings to the point where she was constantly narrating the things to do. Like like the rules. Everyone inside by sunset, because you knew once the sun went down, they're coming. And there was so much about her character and the reveal about it. How you got this history about that there were fairies who were part of man and man and fae lived hand in hand together until fae started basically causing man to become scared to the point where there was a great war and they were banished. And the fact that they were stuck in this hole, they're trying to dig their way out, and then they realized that they lost their wings in the process because they've been in there so long. So I do like the fact that they did this because I did not expect. I thought aliens, like you were saying, aliens or some kind of just like monsters, but the fact that
Just the slowness of it peeping in into screen and the teeth being revealed and how round that nostril was, and then the drool, and it just immediately just thought aliens. I'm like, don't.
yeah, the fact that you heard them running in the woods when they were coming at night,
Yeah.
I like that whole aspect because it played. I mean, when a film doesn't reveal what the creatures are, but they play with the sound, I love that because it does draw you a little bit more into. You start guessing exactly what it is, and I mentioned in the synopsis that it was Mina and three other strangers. So I like the fact that this cast was kept small as far as
Yeah.
these four people stuck in the shelter. So like I mean, which of these characters did you think felt different, and did you actually expect the twist at the end? Well, the twist in the middle of the film.
The one that I kind of drew to was Daniel. I really liked him. He was a little unorthodox, I felt. Like you just didn't know what he was going to do. Is he going to go off hinge? Which there was a moment he did. He closed the door on the two girls, Amina and Madeline. So I was like, no, don't be the bad guy. He ends up, bringing them. He's just so tired of being in the woods. He said he was like 8 months there. And I wanted, did they even say how long Madeline was there? It had to have been decades.
No, they didn't say.
Or so. They didn't reveal that, which I'm kind of glad they didn't, but I'm kind of curious at the same time. But I liked all of them equally. But Daniel, there was a scene that I just wish didn't happen. And it made me upset that he didn't get to escape the woods. But yeah, I just like that he was very curious because they've been there 6 to 8 months. And then all of a sudden Mina comes in and I loved her character equally as well because she was just so gung-ho on getting the hell out of there. I'm not staying here 8 months. Screw you guys. We're coming up with a plan. We're going to figure this out. And I love the fact that she was breaking rules. That's my type of chick, a rule breaker. So, and kudos to Dakota Fanning. She's a great actress, always has been in anything that I've ever seen. And she's not far from the woods if you've seen Twilight. But I love the fact that she was a rule breaker and Daniel was just as curious. And he's a rule breaker too, but he was doing it in a more secretive way. But, we don't get the whole scenes of just them three. We get all four of them. But I like that he was just as curious because she would convince him, like, aren't you just curious why we're here, why we can't break the rules? And so I like the fact that they bent a lot of the rules just to keep the story going. And what was the other girl's name? Sarah?
That was Sierra. Sierra.
Yeah. So I liked her, and I feel like I've seen her in something. I can't think of it. But I want to say she was in something I've seen on Netflix. But anyway, I'm digressing. She was a little boring to me. I like that she was the least of my fave, but I still liked them all equally. I like that she was the caring one of the group. She was, who knows the mental capacity of Daniel, but she was very caring to his character. She's also, her husband's out there. She's waiting on him. And unfortunately, the husband never makes it out of the woods and becomes a watcher, I believe, right? I guess that's what I got the take from that, is that once you're captured or die in the woods, you're one of them. That's what I got. And you just see like there was a moment again when they were under the rotted roots. You could see how many were. So it's like how many people were lost in these woods. But there was a scene right when Dakota Fanning was driving in with the bird. Darwin, so cute. I love birds. But there was a moment where the camera pans over to a whiteboard or a pinboard, and you can see how many people are missing. So those are probably all the people in the woods becoming one of these watchers. So I liked all the characters, but Daniel stood out to me because I just didn't know where he was going when it came to, doing what Madeline said, but also very curious is Mina. And Mina, I think she carried the story because she was that rule breaker. She made everybody go along. Now, as far as Madeline, I didn't know, and we'll get into it more, but I liked her a lot because I didn't know how long she was there. She was already old as crap. So I'm like, man, she knows what she's doing, but is she setting these people up? Like, I didn't know what was going on with her character, but I like the fact that she was also kind of curious to get the heck out too. But we didn't know until the reveal comes, so why she wanted out. Yeah. What did you think?
Mina, I liked her character. Madeline, she's a great actress. She's been in so many films. The last film we saw her on, which was a good movie, was Tarot. But she every time she's in the film, she just has this presence, and I like the fact that she felt like she was the storyteller in this movie. A lot of the narration came from her perspective, the stories that she was telling, that all this knowledge she had. To get back to your point, was the Watchers, when somebody died, they took their form. So that's the thing they would mimic. And the fact that here they are in this shelter with a window being displayed, just so the Watchers could learn how to become them and learn how to adapt, and eventually become them to the point where they can escape the forest. So and yeah, you had the Sierra character, who her husband. We seen him in the beginning of the film trying to escape the forest, and he ends up basically being dragged into a hole. It was kind of funny when Mina went and she found the bike, and they want to let her use the bike, which you were always curious of how far they got to try to escape these woods, and the fact that Madeline was the one holding them in place, to the point where just like you were talking, how Daniel started becoming unhinged, where he wanted out so bad to the point where he's willing to sacrifice Mina and Madeline just to find out exactly what the Watchers were up to. But he also had the infatuation with Kilmartin, who was the guy who built the shelter. And we get a little backstory with him, and I wish we got a little bit more, but I kind of like the bits we have of him, how he found these things and he was trying to learn from them, and he basically was trying to get them adapt, and then this helped us reach the reveal towards the end, and how one of the characters in the shelter wasn't who said they were. So what did you think about the whole sequence of that reveal, the reveal? And with M. Night Shyamalan films, you always have this question: was the ending satisfying? So, what do you think on those? Like, for example, about the reveal, we found out wasn't who they were, and then did you like the ending of this film?
I was torn. I definitely was torn. I do like the fact that, Madeline, God knows how long she's been there. I'm going to assume decades. And she finally gets out. So I was like, and there was the moment they were sitting on the bus, and I thought to myself, well, what are they going to do? They have no ID, no credit cards, no house. Like, what is she going to do, especially? I'm assuming the ones that have been there 7 to 8 months got something to go back to, whereas Madeline has nothing until. I was shocked when she found the pictures. I was like, wait, she knew. I was trying to put the pieces together. Did she know about the bomb shelter underneath them? Did she, like, how much did she know? The ending to me at first was confusing. I had to actually rewind it back a few times because, like, wait a minute. So they're half human and half fairy or whatever, a watcher. Um, so I don't know if it was satisfying, but it was a neat idea to end it. I don't know. What did you think?
I like the reveal, the fact that they got more in depth with the storyline of the Faye and man's relationship, to the point where they live side by side. They lived in happiness to the point where they started, mating with the opposite species.
Yeah.
And then you had all these hybrids, which was, the Malin's character was a hybrid. She said that, that's how she wanted to be freed, how she was called the strange one, the daywalker, the deformity,
Right.
because the fact that she was a hybrid and didn't realize she was a hybrid. And I liked that reveal at the end, because when they, she goes to the Kilmar's office, and she finds the scroll, and she starts looking at it, reading about the fact that there are hybrids out there, but they weren't unsure what happened to them. So I
Mhm.
like the fact that Mina used that psychology versus Madeline's character. I
Right.
forgot the name, her actual real name. It started with an
Mhm.
A, but I
Oh,
kind of,
it was in a different language.
yeah,
I
it
have no
almost
idea.
sounded like it. For some reason, it sounded like not Mayan, Aztec to me, because those names, the name she gave,
Yeah.
sound very Aztec like.
I guess what
But
I kind of wanted to see at the end there was not her walk away and find her life out in this world. I mean, we're here for horror and the story, right? I guess I just wanted to see, oh, wow, a watcher got out, and now she can probably bring all the watchers out and they all attack the city. I don't know. I was thinking, far left. I was thinking gruesome. But yeah, it wasn't satisfying, but it was an interesting take. I didn't hate it. I didn't. It was definitely an interesting take.
well, it's the fact that she was always seen as different by the watchers,
Yeah.
the phase that were there. So the fact that she could find her own, the ones that are the hybrids, the ones that are half man, half fae, that was her journey, because Mina put it out there. So she got it to the point. I mean, imagine she goes and finds all the hybrids. I mean, the fact that the hybrids were the ones that were capable of transforming easily into people, and that was
But
their
Madeline
gift.
was dead already, right?
But that faith took the form of
That's right.
Madeline, because that's what Kilmar said. Imagine what we could
That's
do.
right.
We could bring our dead back, basically have them take the form of the dead. That way you continue living with, whoever your loved one is, which
Yeah,
was interesting too. So I didn't mind it, because it left it open ended, which I liked.
it did.
And
I wanted more from it.
I mean, it might be a sequel. Who knows? I mean, maybe it'd be the sequel where it follows Madeline, because now she's a little like she turned into a young redhead child.
All these
She did.
watchers, like it would be interesting to see if there was a sequel. Like, will these watchers follow her because she did escape? Do all of them have a good intention or bad intention? So it'd be really interesting to see how it would develop after this.
Well, I think bad intention, because the fact that they were trapped there, and they trapped her as well.
Well,
And
not everybody's good either. So
no, they're
I don't
not.
know.
But the fact that they're stuck there, they're raged because they were locked in there, and then they were basically cast out by man. So it would give I mean, maybe then the sequel would be the hybrid versus the feral phase, but
Yeah.
it's an interesting dynamic. I mean, yeah. Let's wrap it up. I mean, what did you think of the film? What did you think of the characters? Give your final score.
Honestly, I enjoyed the film. I think it's worth the watch. It's definitely not for everybody. Um, I gotta, when I was watching it, I was thinking like the evil side of Fern Gully, if you remember that as a
Yeah.
child. I'm like Fern Gully gone wrong in this woods. But I did like it. I enjoyed it. Not my type of film, but it definitely piqued my interest when it came the folklore and the story that Madeline told throughout this film. And you're right, she did carry the story. However, Mina, I also felt like she carried the rule breaking of her story, and she broke all barriers to get them all out. And again, there was moments where I felt Madeline, I feel like I'm saying her name wrong.
That was Madeline.
She was trying to keep him under control, but she was also trying to, okay, yeah, let's keep going and escape, because she did want to escape this entire time. She just was really good on taming her wanting to escape. Overall, I liked it. I would probably score it 3.5, 4. But it was, I guess what rates it high for me is just the fact that it was shot beautifully. We got a lot of moments, again, of, the monsters coming in different forms. So you didn't know what you were going to see. There was times where, I forget what film it reminded me of, but they almost look like huge, ugly bats, or almost like, I don't even know what, or like Starship Troopers. You ever seen that? They look like the bugs at times too, and tall aliens. So it's just like you never knew what you got when it came to the watcher, because it conformed it into anything. And what I also liked was the very ending. Now that part I didn't see coming, was she went and saw Lucy, and it was her twin sister. So I like that they ended it like that, because could have been a watcher. But it was her twin sister. But I was like, oh, that was like the final like cherry on top of the whole thing. That's very cute. I mean, we're shape-shifting into each other, into ourselves, and then the reveal of Lucy is her twin sister. It was good. And how sad of I do feel bad for Mina, who she feels guilty. And we didn't really touch on that, but she does feel guilty about her mother dying. She felt she was at fault. I mean, kids are kids. It happens, but it is unfortunate. But I'm glad they also didn't play with it too much, but it does show why she wasn't who she is, and why she wasn't reaching out to family. Yeah, overall, I give it a good 3.5, 4.
This is definitely M. Night Shyamalan, and the fact that his daughter wrote and directed this is give her kudos, because I wasn't big on her performance in one of the films we did recently that we went to go in the theaters to watch. But I enjoyed this film. I like the fact that they paced it. For me, I think they paced it perfectly. They gave you the whole mystery and intrigue of what exactly is in the woods, to what's going on with each of these characters. I mean, they gave you glimpses of each of them, which I like the fact that they didn't dive too much into the their past, because you didn't need that for these characters. The Madeline character, I mean, this her narrative of telling the story, telling the backstory, telling what's exactly going on, and then revealing that the fact that she was an outcast amongst her, the Fae, and the fact that she wanted out so bad because they made her feel like she didn't belong. And I think that's a good underlying story to have, because, I mean, Kilmartin said the same thing, how when he first saw this Fae, it was almost innocent. And she was enraged because she befriended him and he tried to kill her. So that, the fact that, she got to escape, she got to, have this opportunity where she could find, somebody that's just like her. It gives you more intrigue to the story. I mean, if they would have killed her off, I think it would have been a bad way to end the story. But the fact that they left it open, I liked a lot. Yeah, definitely, I would say it's a 4. It's a fun watch. Yeah, it definitely is not for everybody, but if you're into folklore, especially fairies and fae, you might like the twist on this one. And there's a film that's similar, or the show that's similar to the way fays are treated, is called Carnival Row. It's on Amazon Prime. So if you want to see something about fairies, definitely watch that. That one's different too. But yeah, definitely it's a 4 for me. It's a good watch. I definitely watch it again. And I probably will watch it again because I want to get more in depth with the story, because I do enjoy the story a lot. But yeah, overall, kind of glad we did this. One's a 2024 film. Yeah, it's currently streaming on Max. So take a look at it. Let us know what you think about it. And yeah, till next time, Lexi, glad we did this one, and wait till you see what we have next. A little chapter 3 of a certain franchise that she loves. So yeah. Till next time, this is JR, Lexi the Fourth Corner. What's your story? Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share, as we have more films still coming your way and more story time for you. So let us know what you think of this one and any other future story driven horror films you want us to talk about. Till next time, peace.